All right, with the ICSE physics exam right around the corner, I know every single minute feels precious. So today, we're not going to waste any time. We're jumping straight into a proven last-minute playbook for success. And this comes directly from a student who totally crushed the exam.
So what does crushed it look like? It looks like this, 96.2%. This was the score from the 2024 ICSE boards, and it was achieved using the exact strategy we're about to break down. So, this isn't just some theory. This is the real deal, a tested method that actually gets results.
So I want you to think of this as your personal guide. We're going to walk through every single step, from how to manage your time to which topics to focus on that led to this amazing score. Let's start with the very first thing you need to know.
Before you can even think about winning the game, you gotta know the rules, right? The first and, honestly, the most critical step is to really understand the structure of the physics paper. Just knowing this layout is your first big advantage.
Okay, so the paper is basically split right down the middle. You've got Section A, that's 40 marks, and it is all compulsory, no choices here. This is where you'll find your 15 MCQs and a bunch of short answer questions. Then you have Section B, also 40 marks. But this is where it gets interesting. You get a choice. You only have to attempt 4 out of the 6 long answer questions. And that choice is where strategy really begins.
And this leads us to one of the biggest questions students always have. What happens if you finish early and you've got some extra time? Should you try to answer a 5th question in Section B? Is it just a waste of time, or does the examiner even look at it?
The answer is a huge yes. You absolutely can, and if you have the time, you totally should. This is such a great strategic move. The examiners are actually told to check every single question you answer. Then they take your best 4 scores. So think about it. If you're a little shaky on one of your answers, doing an extra one is like a safety net. It could literally save you and get you more marks. Okay, now let's talk about the single biggest factor on exam day, managing that clock. I mean, you could be a physics genius, but it doesn't mean a thing if you can't get all that knowledge down on paper in just 2 hours. So here is the exact plan you need to follow. So here's the big picture for your 120 minutes. We're going to give about 50 minutes to Section A, a full 60 minutes, that's a solid hour for your 4 big questions in Section B, and then, this is so important, a final 10 minutes at the end just for revision. This way, you're not rushing, and you give every part of the paper the attention it really needs. All right, let's drill down into the details. Now listen up, because this is the masterstroke. You know that first 15 minutes of reading time you get? Use it to solve all 15 MCQs in your head. Just figure out the answers. That means the second the writing time starts, you've basically banked 15 marks already. Boom. After that, spend about 15 minutes on question 2, 20 on question 3, and that's Section A done in 50 minutes. For Section B, give yourself about 15 minutes for each of the 4 questions, which is your 60 minutes. And that leaves you that beautiful 10-minute buffer to go back, check your work, and just breathe. Okay, so our tithing is locked in. Now let's talk about what to actually study. In these last few days, you just can't cover everything with equal importance. You gotta be smart. We need to prioritize and focus on the chapters that will give you the best bang for your buck, the maximum return on your study time. Let's break the syllabus down into 3 groups. First, the easy ones. These are super formula-based. If you just know the formulas, you can solve these problems pretty fast. Then you have the medium category, which is a bit more about concepts, like drawing diagrams for light and lenses. Finally, the hard chapters. This is where the really complex, numerical-heavy questions tend to come from. So here's the strategy. Make sure your easy and medium chapters are absolutely rock solid. That gives you a strong foundation of marks before you even have to tackle those tougher numericals.
Now, let's talk about a classic trap from the current electricity chapter. You have to pay close attention to VI graphs versus IV graphs. I know, they look so similar, but they tell you completely different things. For a VI graph, the slope is resistance, or R. Simple. But if they flip it to an IV graph, the slope is conductance, which is the opposite of resistance, or 1 over R. So many people mix this up. Always double-check the axes.
All right, another key concept, transformers. The rules here are actually pretty simple. They're just inverses of each other. In a step-up transformer, when the voltage goes up, the current has to come down. And in a step-down, when the voltage goes down, the current goes up. See? Inverse. This leads to a really important practical rule. Wherever the current is higher, you need a thicker wire to handle it. That simple piece of logic is often the key to solving those tricky transformer questions.
So we have our pattern, our timing, our topics. We're almost there. Now it's time for the final polish. I'm going to give you a few pro tips that can make a massive difference, not just in your score, but in your confidence on exam day.
This, right here, is probably the single most important piece of advice I can give you. Stop just reading your textbook over and over again. Instead, spend your time analyzing past papers. Really try to understand the kind of questions they ask, which chapters get more weight, and what the common tricks are. That kind of active analysis is so much more effective than just passive reading.
Okay, so let's wrap this up with your winning edge. 3 final things. 1. Always write the formula. ICSE uses step marking, so you can get partial credit even if your final calculation is wrong. 2. If you see a question that seems impossibly hard or maybe even out of the syllabus, don't freak out. There's a decent chance everyone will get bonus marks for it. And 3, I'm going to say it again, if you have the time, always attempt that extra question in Section B. It's your secret weapon.
And there you have it. That's the complete playbook from a 96%er. You've got the strategies for time, for analyzing the paper, and for smart revision. It's all laid out for you. The only thing left to do is actually apply it. So my question for you is, what is the one area you're going to focus on changing in your prep starting today? Good luck. You've got this.